Hello everyone and welcome to episode 7 of the Xbox Community Cast. If you haven't been a part of the discussion before, each week we come together to discuss the latest news and popular topics with you, the community. I'm your host Risky, and joining me as always are Waterloo.
Hey!
And Shopa.
What is up, everyone?
Not much, Shopa. What's up with you? How's your week been?
I want to say busy because it was. I started 2 different volleyball leagues, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that keeps me busy those nights. And my girlfriend was a little needy this week, so there was not much a video game played, let alone, I barely even got on my computer, which is what I usually play on. So,
it's a rough week.
Bad week for gaming, but I mean, it was a good week overall.
Great week for volleyball and girlfriends. I feel like this is how we started your segment last week too, so you might have to change something up here.
I'm 12-0 in volleyball right now. I haven't lost a game.
I think that's all that really matters.
Oh yeah. Well, not all that matters.
And Waterloo, how's your week been?
Oh, my week's been alright. I've been doing pretty good on this week so far. Just got started my new job, doing a lot of training there, so that's pretty cool. And then getting some gameplay in of the games I need to play.
All right,
so that's
fair enough.
Can't go wrong there.
What your new job is in cellular devices. What's the best device on the market right now? Sell me it.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for.
I'm looking for a smartphone that's really good and smart.
Really? Does battery life matter to you?
Yes.
So you're probably going to want to go with the V20, actually.
Okay.
Would be the best bet for you because you can open the back and get into the battery, so you can have 2 of them.
Oh, do a lot of phones not have removable batteries nowadays?
No, actually the only other one that has a removable battery case right now that we sell would be the G5.
All right, great. And I'm your host, Risky, and my week has been... my week's been all right.
He passed. He didn't say anything wrong.
You're right. Congratulations on your correct answer to the cell phone question.
Sold you that.
No, I'm sold. I have the V20.
Oh, look at that right off the bat. Well,
mixer.
You're gonna do me no good.
I am gonna do you no good.
So what if I break that phone? I can get you a good deal on a new one if that gets broken somehow.
I think work provides my phone for free.
Do you have that under insurance? That would be a shame. If
my insurance is the Stat 99 button. Makes things disappear.
Oh, well, that'd be a shame if that disappeared.
It would. Back to how my week's been.
Offer you can't refuse.
Fair enough. I will refuse it. So last week you guys got to hear a whole bunch of my dog just whimpering and screaming and whatnot, and we probably wished ill of him, and then he fell ill. So I don't know if this is my fault or not, but he threw up a whole bunch. We brought him to the vet, got a bunch of x-rays, spent a bunch of money.
Yeah, and a bunch is a bunch.
I could have bought Xboxes.
Yeah. You could have probably
Almost
filled up a whole Xbox with the amount of vomit he threw up.
More than that. It was disgusting.
Easily.
Risky, you were talking about the money you spent. He was talking about how much your dog actually threw up.
Yeah.
I mean, both quantities were large.
Yes.
Throw up and money that left from a bank account. So, but I got a decent amount of gaming in, though. He was sick, he was sick Monday, so I didn't have to work, so I got to game a little bit while I monitored where he was throwing up everywhere. So that was good. I feel like you had something to say, Waterloo.
Yeah, I completely forgot we started recording on Tuesdays now, so when
Do you think it was Sunday right now?
When you said Monday, I'm like, that was that long ago? What happened to the time?
Nope. Anything going on off topic for you guys? Any movies? Oh, there is a movie.
I was gonna say, did you see Guardians?
Yeah, we went and saw.
Both did.
Yeah, me and Shopa saw Guardians.
Almost at the same time.
Yep,
but
this weekend. Waterloo. We'll get you there
sometime.
Maybe we'll take a Xbox Community Cast movie date, so you don't have to feel like a third wheel.
I'll probably just wind up going by myself. That sounds much more enjoyable.
Aww.
You can Venmo me for it, so I can go and
at
least to be free.
We're not paying
You're
for you to
not
go
a charity
alone.
case. Yeah, what?
Well,
we were offering you our friendship. That was it.
I mean, I thought this was friendship enough. This right here.
Well, I mean, yeah, we were just offering you another leg of friendship.
I don't like legs. I'm more of a handshaking type of person.
And with that,
how did you like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Shopa?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was right up my alley for humor.
There was
hilarious
a lot of humor
the whole time.
the whole time.
And I know that might be one of the things that rubbed you a little bit wrong over there, Risky, from our conversations earlier.
Yeah, there's just a few parts in the movie that they were like serious parts, and then they'd have to end the serious part with a joke, and it just killed the whole serious part. So the whole thing felt like a joke. It felt like a comedy, which is fine. In my Marvel movies, it's good to have a little bit of differentiation from just action, and then going over to comedy is okay. And if there's one group of superheroes that are gonna do comedy well, it's gonna be the one with Vin Diesel, obviously.
Yeah, Baby Groot. But
Baby Groot was great.
how'd you like the 5 little acts at the end? There were 5 after the credits
5
started,
after credit scenes, yeah, and then I thought there was gonna be one at the very, very end,
and there wasn't.
but there wasn't. So that's different. But good. They showed. Well, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, no real spoilers.
No
But
spoilers. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I'll go see it again. If Waterloo wants to do it, or if anyone wants to do it. If anyone out there in podcast land wants to go to the movies, just come to Syracuse and I'll go see Guardians with you.
Yeah.
That was a. Did you fart again, Lewis?
No, I think I shut your
Thinking
door
about
too
Bobcat.
hard in the other room. It was tough to get open.
it. All right, cool. Well, you guys want to get right into the news?
We can get right into the news.
Let's get into the
News me, brother.
news. All right, Shopa, what's in the news this week?
Well, in the news this week is where I tell you that you were wrong, Risky. And you want to know why?
Because there's going to be an FPS counter possibly on the front of the Scorpio.
It seems like there's going to be a nice FPS counter on the front of the Scorpio.
Nothing confirmed, but yes, I've seen a lot of news outlets saying that if you're making this console for
Gamers like us.
gamers like us want to see FPS. And so, yeah, I think it could definitely be there. It seems like some major outlets also think it could be there.
And it's
I don't mind it at all. Like, it's a digital display, so if there's a button to shut it off so you don't
or
have
like
to see
sleep
it.
mode.
Or yeah, like if you have options, I think it's great for
Yeah.
the people that actually want to see that kind of stuff. Personally, I'd love to see this machine that I paid this much money for never drop below 60 FPS, and if I can watch it and be like, I'm getting my money's worth. Look at that. Look at all those frames.
It'll make you happy.
I guess.
I mean, this just goes back to what they say when they come out with new consoles. Typically, is the dev kits tend to be pretty much the same as what comes
Pretty
out.
close, yeah.
And this dev kit that they put out had the FPS counter.
yeah.
I think it has millisecond response time, and there were a couple of other graph
It also
type things.
the actual box looks a lot like the 1S, which I don't think they'll stray far from.
No,
It's a good looking box. It's small.
Yeah, compact. I'm gonna have to transfer all my stickers.
I hate that you do you put stickers on your consoles or
I
your
do
laptop?
not.
I see your laptop. No, because you're an adult, right? Kind of.
For the most part, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna spend $500, $600, maybe $1,000 on whatever I'm buying.
So why put stickers on it?
Yeah, unless
You gotta represent.
unless it's old.
Got to represent what
I mean, I got a Steel Series sticker on there.
on your Xbox?
Control Freak.
On your Xbox,
Well, the Control Freaks are for the sticks.
you have an Elite controller.
I have one of those stickers on there too. I have about 20 monster stickers off the top of the.
Gamer fuel.
Who are you?
I have a G
representing
Fuel
this
sticker on there.
to?
It makes me feel good.
You can put those stickers on your wall, and it might make you feel just as good.
Oh, my
Or
wall's
on-
covered up with a Barstool Sports flag.
Or maybe like in a sticker book, where
Oh, let's get you a sticker book.
Yeah.
And then you'll
If
have
you-
a place to
if
put all
you
your
get me a
stickers.
sticker book,
You'll take all the stickers and put them on your Xbox.
I will.
Is that what you were gonna say?
I also have Halo front sticker. You remember when they were giving those out? You ever see those? Where you got stickers for the front of your Xbox One?
Oh yeah, like
I got one of those for free when I went to a
from the
game drop.
360, right? Is that
No.
what you're talking about? Or you're talking about the one?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got one of those when I went to get it. When I went to get a game at midnight, they were like, "We have like Halo stickers for the front of your
Yeah,
Xbox."
they're like the plates. They used to be. It was removable on the 360. You could actually buy plates and you
Yeah.
could pull it off the front of your 360. But I also know what you're talking about. They're literally just stickers that you can buy for the whole console, and it'll give you like a piece to put on the top, and it all matches and stuff.
Yeah,
But-
I only put the front one on, but yeah, I'm gonna put tons of stickers on there. Every monster you drink, stick it on there.
I
You know, when
don't-
you get new gear.
They
Don't
give
drink
you
a lot of those.
sticker for every monster you drink.
There's one monster, I think it's Impact, where it's like the taller, like 24 ounce, 18 ounce can,
Mm-hmm.
and it's resealable.
Mm-hmm.
As a twist top, and that twist top has a sticker on top that comes off. So those stickers that I put them on the Xbox.
Oh, but
Just to,
if you drink enough of them, won't you just have your Xbox completely covered in stickers?
yeah, but that's the point.
Why? I think the point is to show off their beautiful box without stickers on it.
It's a big black box.
No, it's a big white box.
I mean,
it depends.
no,
okay,
no, it's black.
Enough of your sticker problems. To each their own. Enjoy your stickers. Don't enjoy your stickers. I won't enjoy my stickers because they won't be there. What else is in the news? Waterloo.
There's some rumors flying around like bullets in a hailstorm about the new Far Cry will be set in the western area, possibly. They actually said it was just live action filmed in Montana. Well,
They were shooting like live action stuff.
live action
in
stuff
Montana, right.
and they were saying there's actually a place based on the area they're shooting at and everything. So could be not. Who knows?
So, do you think trying to go up against? We obviously have Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out this year. Think it's a bad idea to take your Western and go up against
that
a
western
monster like Rockstar and Red Dead?
for sure. I mean, Far Cry has its own name out there, so which at least is not like a brand new title trying to.
And it's
do it.
also a first-person game
Yeah.
compared to Red Dead, which will be
third
third.
person. So there's definitely going to be differences into them. I'm hoping that they will stagger them slightly.
A little bit, so they both don't release like a week from each other.
Exactly, which would benefit not only me but them as well, because you let these two big Goliaths
Yeah, it's like
be
they're both
released at the same
big
time.
companies. They're both big
they're
games.
gonna take stuff away from each other, you know.
Yeah, I would say it'd be smarter for this Far Cry Western to definitely get out there before
Yeah.
Red Dead if it can, like at least a month.
Yeah.
But
the way Far Cries have been lately, they've been open world and massive as well, so it's gonna be time consuming.
yeah, I mean, the last Far Cry game that came out was Primal, which
I never played Primal.
we own a hard copy of it.
Oh, look at that.
It came with my Xbox. I said we. I think that actually. You were in the same house as me, so you're more than welcome to try out Far Cry Primal if you want.
I mean, I
You too, Shopa.
only got so far in Far Cry 3, was it?
Yeah, I didn't beat 3 or 4. I started both of them
I
and
tried
got
beating.
pretty
Oh,
far.
it was 4, the one where you go to Bali or whatever. Maybe not Bali.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was
And
up in the mountains.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about beating it the other day because it's super simple.
Oh, do you have it?
Yeah, I have it downloaded onto my Xbox. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
The one that came out just before Primal.
Yeah, which was 4 of them.
Yeah. All you have to do is you know how you get on the
Oh.
helicopter and you just wait for him to come back and you can beat the game.
I remember hearing about that a long
So I was
when the
thinking,
game came out.
and I'm pretty sure you can also get a achievement because you don't kill anybody in the whole game.
So you get that just
You get
for
that
sitting and
achievement as
waiting in
well.
your helicopter.
Yeah.
Until
Well, you wait in that
it's
room for
it's
like
the-
15
Yeah,
minutes.
until
or
that
something.
main bad guy comes back,
Yeah.
whatever his name was.
So I was thinking about doing that just for some gamer score and just to see how the game ends.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That could be my weekly goal.
That's that's some garbage. You better not do that.
I don't know.
Call of Duty was also in the news a few times.
Boots on the ground.
Nope.
Actually, not. We haven't. There
Boots
was
in the
not
air?
very any World War II.
Well, really,
Information
with
released.
2 stories. One's about Modern Warfare Remastered, and the other's about Call of Duty Zombies. So, your boots actually are on the ground on both of those, but it's not World War II stuff.
No.
Zombies, boots on the ground.
So, GameFly had a listing for Modern Warfare Remastered, which is it's the remaster of Call of Duty 4. And the only way previously to get it was to buy the $80 version of Infinite Warfare.
And it came with it.
Yep, and it came with it, but you spent $20 extra to get it. So, the listing on GameFly was up, and it said July 20th. It was promptly taken down. Activision has been asked questions, but they haven't gotten back to anyone about it. So, seems like it could be true.
Every other thing that's been
leaked.
shown quickly and
Yeah.
taken back has kind of been true. So how do you know it's not?
So, one question is it too late for this? Like, if you were that excited, like me, if you were that excited about Modern Warfare Remastered, you probably already forked over $80.
Yeah, I would have to see the price that they came out with too, because I mean, if you're gonna drop this for another $60, like it's a
They
real
can't do
game.
that because it's almost as cheap to just buy Infinite Warfare
Yeah,
at that point.
that's what I'm saying.
I would hope it would
but,
be
like,
$20 because that's what got essentially tagged on to the end of Infinite Warfare. So
at this point, maybe
yeah, I
because
just don't see that. Maybe $30 tops though. But anything more than that,
yeah, no, I agree. Something that I don't think you've ever had a problem, but us multiplayer kids coming around this time playing just multiplayer, Call of Duty, whatever it is, gets extremely tiring. So there's usually a lull around this time where you're either not playing or you have the hardcore people who are constantly playing. But even then, I don't see dropping this at $20 or $30, bringing anybody else in
who wasn't already there
when it's a
Yeah.
lull already right now. You're not going to just buy this to play Infinite Warfare or to play Remastered if you haven't been playing it for the last 6 months.
Right.
So no, I would say it's definitely poorly timed at this moment to drop that. Maybe,
But it's like they had to wait this long because if they had just released it alongside Infinite Warfare,
Nobody would.
their Infinite Warfare sales would have been horrible, I bet.
I agree.
So
I definitely agree.
they might not have had a lot of options. I feel like this is still a pretty long time to wait since Infinite Warfare. That was probably, November of last year?
Yeah, but they're still putting stuff out for Infinite Warfare.
They're still putting out stuff for Black Ops 3, which
That's true.
is a nice segue into the Black Ops 3 news, unless you had something else to add about
Nope.
Modern Warfare. So the Black Ops 3 is going to have a new DLC. It's for all of the old Zombies maps from World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. They're remastering them, and they're releasing it in a package called the Zombie Chronicles. You probably never played any zombie modes in any of those?
I did
A little bit?
a little bit.
Um,
It was like, again, when I said that there's lulls that you sometimes
that's
see the
stuff you
zombies.
could play in, right?
So it's still first person. It's still fun. You get a bunch of friends, and you play zombies for 6 hours straight for no reason.
I have spent multiple hours. I wish I remembered which ones they were. Like, this would be an awesome package. It's coming out at $30, which
Not too shabby.
This
it's
is
not too shabby, but
So I see this as a good release of separate things. So you release this for Black Ops 3. It's zombies will have the chance to start playing new zombies maps again. Well, I guess old zombies
zombie
maps, but new
but
to
they'll
them
feel
at this
new.
moment.
Yeah, and I mean they're
And
like
remastered is sweet too.
Yep, they'll all
all
look
the-
nicer.
All the remastered stuff is better. So I think this would be cool for us to play as a cast too, because it would finally be a co-op game.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Because a
that
lot
would
of
be
the stuff
fun.
we've been doing is singular, which is fun because we can talk about it, but it's also
But if we actually
not
find
fun
a
'cause
co-op
I
game
don't
that we could all
really
play or get through,
like
yeah.
playing singular games.
It has a release date for the PS4 right now, which is May 16th. They have the whole exclusivity thing for a month generally. So I would probably say mid-June is when I would look for this on Xbox, but not positive. They haven't released a date for it. But that's your Call of Duty 10 minutes for the week. You're welcome.
Well, thank you.
What else? The E3 Coliseum. At E3 this year, Jeff Keighley, he's the guy who hosts the Video Game Awards. The first 2 days of the show, there's going to be this thing called the E3 Coliseum. It's going to be a series of panels. So normal people, I say normal people that are just attending that aren't media, since they opened it to the public or whatever, they can go to these panels. Developers like Bethesda, Square Enix, Ubisoft. They're meant to take attendees behind the scenes of E3's biggest news announcements and new announcements, is what the article was quoted as saying. Like I said, it's available to anyone who purchased an E3 ticket. I'm assuming it's first come, first serve. It will also be streamed on Twitch and all other platforms.
Seems cool. I guess if you're gonna start bringing in the public into, for the first time into E3, then you have to give them stuff to do. You can't just bring them into the same situation you've been running for the last however many years E3's been running, and then just be like, well, we're not used to having the public here, so
yeah, especially like how there's limited rooms at like the Microsoft conference and the Sony conference, so having all these specific developers having like a few panels a day or whatever for a couple hours and letting the general public in that's definitely pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good insight for people. I'll get it out quick because Lord knows people tweet stuff, people Snapchat stuff. So I mean, they're allowing their audience to put their input in as fast and as whatever they want to say.
It's also
instead of just kind of. I mean, I feel like I'll get to you in a second. Sorry, I feel like when you don't open to the public as E3 has been, you can funnel what people are seeing to what you want them to see.
Yeah, definitely.
But now that you're bringing people in, they're going to see every angle. So I think that's really cool, and we're going to get every piece of information we want to hear or don't hear.
It's also going to be like more free advertisement for them as well, which is going
to
be
definitely
nice. Basically just doubles their viewership as well. One person will retweet it, that goes out to 14 people, those 14 people retweet it. It's just going to make their stuff go out there and be seen by 100 more people than it would be if it was still just a regular conference.
And since they're streaming the whole thing too, you don't have to be there, so it's the first 2 days, so we can tune into that.
But streams always kind of stink because you got to do what the streamer is doing, I
mean, it's streaming the actual panel, so it's just going to be, you're going to see a bunch of developers up on stage just talking, so it's not like...
It's going to almost be like, did you watch the World War II reveal? The video?
I might have. I don't remember.
The reveal they came out with when they did the interviews and stuff was pretty much like what you're going to see at E3 for this Coliseum. So they brought up some of the developers, they brought up some of the casts, couches on a stage, and they just talked. So I'm assuming that's going to be about what it is.
I'm assuming there's also going to be, like you said, the streamers, but won't certain conferences be going on at the same time? So I'm assuming they're going to have multiple...
I don't think so.
Was everything space... like perfectly.
Well, I know they can do. I mean, they can do multiple. If they create multiple stream names, they can do multiple streams as well. So they could do E3 main stage, and so that stream will constantly focus on main stage.
Yeah.
Where if you do like E3, side stage 1 or whatever, which they'll probably make a cooler name for that. But if you do have other side,
other stages
and other talks and stuff, they do have the opportunity. I watch League of Legends streams for like professional players, and sometimes they'll have a side stream that just focuses on one lane, where they'll have specific announcers just for that one lane, and they'll talk just about that. So I can see them doing multiple streams as well at the same time if there are multiple stages. But at this point, why try that when you can literally just try one stage, see how everything goes. The first time people have come in, first time the public has come in. So I'd say definitely just try to make it one stage, try to make it compact and easy. But
yeah, the only thing about the one stage thing is that only, like as far as the Xbox conference and the Sony conference goes, they're only allowing the general public like so many people into it. So there's 15,000 people that got invited into this. 400 people get to go to the Xbox thing. That's still 14,000 people. So having things like this, like the Coliseum, having other panels during the same days, like that's probably a good idea. So there probably will be multiple streams. Actually, I would assume this goes on at the same time. So
I mean, at this point, I'm feeling like E3 is just a much bigger PAX.
It's definitely going that way. With the whole inviting other people, the media into it.
I definitely think that they got the feel of how well PAXs go.
Yeah, PAX is awesome.
How well they're like, how well they work with the public and
with the people that are actually buying your games,
and with the people who are developing them.
Yeah,
so you see Twitch there. You got to play a bunch of games.
Right, everybody has their own booths, and you can actually talk to the developers.
So why wouldn't you put that into the biggest developer drop there is of the year. Why wouldn't you let people in?
You would, and I think they're learning from that, especially with other companies leaving E3 because E3 starts on Monday, now I guess it starts on Sunday. I don't know. It's weird because Microsoft moved back. Like EA Play, I think, or EA Plays. I think that's their thing now. They're not at E3. Bethesda does their own thing now.
Yeah, but Bethesda's in this, aren't they?
Right. So
they're also
they'll do their thing on Sunday, but then Monday and Tuesday they'll be at the Coliseum, doing panels and whatnot. So that's definitely cool. The last thing I wanted to touch on is Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, was interviewed by someone at The Guardian, and I just want to read this quote, and then we can talk about it. He was asked about his views on like single player games. He says the audience for those big story driven games, I won't say it isn't as large, but they're not as consistent. You'll have things like Zelda or Horizon Zero Dawn that'll come out and they'll do really well, but they don't have the same impact that they used to have because the big service based games are capturing such a large amount of the audience. Sony's first party studios do a lot of these games and they're good at them, but outside of that, it's difficult. They're becoming more rare. It's a difficult business decision for those teams. You're fighting into more headwind. Blech. So to me, that makes it sound like Microsoft isn't doing a lot of single-player, first-person games.
Yeah, I was reading that too. It would be very, very sad if that's the way it goes because I mean, granted, yeah, playing with your friends is a bunch of fun, but there's sometimes that I just want to sit down and play a game for its story or just for its puzzles.
At this point in my life, I generally want to sit down and play single-player games by myself. But like what they're talking about, the games like Destiny, where people are logging so many hours into it, the games like Call of Duty, I think he's just looking at it financially, which is smart if you're a business guy.
Of course, yeah.
Two of their big last first-party single-player games were Quantum Break, which we played, and we all liked it.
Yeah.
And then Sunset Overdrive, that was back a couple years now, but
which I played parts of it, but it was just a little too overboard.
Over the top.
It was basically if a video game made a video game, this is what it would be.
Yeah, and I know there was a lot of like fourth wall breaking.
That's what fourth wall breaking.
Yes, fourth wall breaking. So like the main character would talk to you personally sometimes.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But so those two games just didn't sell the way that Microsoft wanted them to, I'm assuming. So hopefully this isn't the end of good first-person Microsoft games. We're always going to have third-party developers making great games. Ubisoft, Bethesda, that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Are those developers.
But it would be kind of sad. I mean, but like you said, those are the last two, first-party games they made in a while.
And they just didn't do the numbers that they wanted.
They want that money.
Who doesn't want that money, though,
The man that lives in a van down by the river.
That's probably true. All right. Well, that was short news week. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I saw anything else today, maybe last minute stuff, but I don't think so.
Well, quick.
Yeah, go for it if you got something.
Yeah, I don't want to kill you guys with For Honor. I don't think I talked about it last week, but they
go
showed
for
you
it.
some people, the Shinobi and the Centurion. You get to play with once the new season comes around. Should be at the end of May.
Okay,
for
cool.
non-pass holders.
Oh, is that? Okay, is that what the trailer was out for a couple days ago?
Yeah, the two new people they're adapting into. And
Okay.
Kind of stoked. Shinobi looks like he's going to be a bad person to bash some heads in.
Bad man.
Bad man.
So if you are a season pass holder, do
You
you already have it then?
No, I'm pretty sure you get it the 16th.
Okay.
So you get it sort of around the corner, and then a week later. So the 23rd, I think, is when the majority of the crowd gets it.
Cool.
But, I mean, the game is definitely slowly dwindling.
Falling off your radar.
Fizzling, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It happens. We can't stick with the same games forever when there's a new one coming out every week.
Yep.
But all right. let's get out of the news and get into Games with Gold and Deals with Gold, presented by Shopa.
That's me. Well, your games with gold are the same as last week, but we'll go over them real quickly. Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams.
I was playing this right before we started the podcast, pretty much. I don't want to say it wasn't what I was expecting, but there's a mechanic in it where you're these two sisters, and if you hit the right trigger, you turn into the opposite sister, and it's like you go into a different dimension, kind of. Waterloo was watching it with me.
Yeah.
Like if you turn into like the blonde lives in like a fairy world and all the music's nice.
Well, I
Or
don't
no,
know
it was
about the
vice
blonde.
versa.
I feel like lived in a
hellscape.
Yeah.
But
Well, there's
her-
like little devil people walking around. And
But
then
her music was like calm.
Yeah, her music was doo-doo-doo-doo.
But then her sister, when you hit right trigger, it swaps.
Yeah, it's like nice forest with like bird
But there's like
enemies and-
death metal playing.
Yeah,
She has like black hair and she looks all goth and stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to pick up crystals, but only certain crystals can be picked up by certain sisters. So you have to keep swapping them. It was just a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be for the little bit I've played of it. For free.
Yeah.
Go ahead and download it.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Walking Dead Season 2 is still good until the 15th.
Yep. So you still have 6 more days. Get after it.
And then Force Unleashed 2,
Also good for 6 more days.
also good for 6 more days.
Go get it.
And then your Deals with Gold.
Anything good this week?
Tom Clancy's The Division.
I would say I saw The Division was on
boy.
there.
60% off.
I think this is a good game if you haven't played it and you're a Destiny player and you're waiting around for Destiny 2. I think there's enough content in The Division to hold you over. So what's that, 60% off?
Mm-hmm.
All right, not bad.
Plus, you can get the Gold Edition for 60% off as well.
Which that probably comes with
the DLC
and stuff. Yeah.
Silence the Whispered World 2.
All right.
Never heard of it. Action News Heroes. Earthlock Festival of Magic.
Ooh.
Sounds like a Waterloo game.
Earthlock was free for a while.
Was it?
You're also not telling the nice folks the percentages off here. You're just listing names, which I guess is fine because they like the game. They can go look.
67% off. I thought I put it in there, but I guess I didn't.
That instant indie hits. I think it's how many games look like there's there,
2,
10?
4, 6, 8, 10.
and what's the percentage off?
80%.
Yeah, so I think that's $100 package going for $20.
$20.
That's nice.
A few of those
Yeah.
games are pretty good too. So
Yeah. Saints Row 4 Reelected.
yeah, all the Saints Row stuff's 75% off. So
Yep.
Get out of hell, and what was the
Metro
other one?
Double Pack. So I'm guessing the older
Oh,
two?
I meant the other Saints Row thing. One was Get Out of Hell. What was the
Reelected and Get Out of Hell for 75% off.
Okay.
Like a double pack. Ghostbusters the game. 67% off.
I heard that was terrible.
Really?
Oh, that's sad.
So
Is it male or female characters?
I think this came out alongside the
female
movie, so I think it is them. I don't know. I just heard it wasn't good.
Rory McIlroy PGA Tour.
I think that's free in the vault,
I was
so
gonna
if you
say.
subscribe, you can definitely get it there.
Whoa. Mass Effect Andromeda for 35% off.
This is a good one digitally. 35% off for Mass Effect.
Wow.
On a pretty new game.
But
Already
That's
35%
weird.
off.
might say something about it.
Weird.
It's not that bad.
It's
35
35 off bad.
It's 35% worse than they thought it was going to be.
Fair enough.
And you can get the deluxe edition for Mass Effect Andromeda for 40% off.
Ooh, look at that. An additional
So
5% off on it.
yeah, wow. Actually, there's a lot of even if you go down to the Xbox 360 stuff, there's a lot of Saints Row stuff on sale.
It's
It's
the
a developer sale or whatever.
Saints Row week.
It might be, but like even those, that's Get Out of Hell, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for
it's the 360 version and the Xbox One version. They're just both on sale. There's not even a lot of 360 games.
Nope.
There's also no publisher sale this week either. So all that Capcom stuff's gone.
Oh, sad face. That's not a sad face.
I wish you'd stop making faces at me when I'm trying to say things.
We're trying to be serious here, Waterloo.
We're trying to talk about all the great great
Saints
deals.
Row stuff that we don't play.
I played Saints Row. You get a big purple dildo. We've talked about
Yep.
this. You can hit people with it.
Yeah, we
Now
have.
that I know that, I'm gonna go play every game.
All right, perfect. Those are your deals. So, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Some of us that have had the chance to play games this week. So, Waterloo, what have you been playing this
Why
week?
are you looking at me when you said that, Risky?
Because you already told the fine viewers out there that you had a rough gaming week, so I figured I'd go to Lou. So you don't even have to. We'll just skip over you, so you don't even have to talk
No,
about
I don't
it.
want to be skipped over.
All right, then why don't you go first?
All right, I played a little bit of Witcher, not a lot of Witcher, because I'm bad at playing Xbox. I played the first cutscene. I played a little bit of it.
You don't even play cutscenes. You probably watched the first 20-minute cutscene, which is granted
20 minutes.
pretty long. So then you got into the game, ran 10 feet, and were like, I don't think this is for me. Was it close to that? Did you even make it through the cutscene?
I ran about 25 feet, not just 10 feet.
All right, 25 feet. That's
I'm definitely gonna play more of it. I
Heard
just
this
never
one
got-
before.
Never got the opportunity. Wow, I'm getting the rash this week, huh?
You are getting a third-degree rash.
passing the rash from Lou to Shopa. Gross.
I mean, I got to play a little bit of League of Legends, a little bit of Counter Strike. I
Oh,
leveled up in
no
Counter
way.
Strike.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and then I leveled back down to the same level I was.
Aw, seems pointless.
But
What a bummer.
like your Rocket League level.
I haven't played Rocket League in weeks.
Yeah,
Good.
I should get
yeah.
back into that. That's a lot of fun.
But yeah, that's all I really got to play.
All right.
I watched you play part of Outlast.
Yeah, it was like 15 minutes. Waterloo, what have you been playing this week? Can you tell Shopa how you play Xbox?
Can you
I
tell
take
us
my
how you
hands and I
had-
grabbed the Xbox Elite controller.
You
and
grab
I hit
it.
that center button.
3 days off of no work
I
whatsoever.
didn't have 3 days off. Thank you very much. I only had 2 days off of work, and that was Monday and Tuesday of last week. And technically, we recorded on Tuesday, so I didn't have any days off except for yesterday, Monday, and today.
All right, so what have you been playing?
In those days that I've been working as well, I've been playing Outlast, of course.
Outlast, that was our game of the week.
Yep, Prey. Got a lot of Prey in. And then
Praying, huh?
I've been on my knees playing that Prey.
It's a weird stance to play video games, but
Yeah, I realize that. And then playing some For Honor, bashing them skulls in still.
yeah, you're do you want to get into your gaming goal for the week? Or?
I started that. I got into it just like I said. And then like I said, Prey. Just
Prey took over.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just couldn't stop praying.
I
pray.
Couldn't stop praying on Prey. Yeah, I was actually lucky enough to get away from it for a long enough time to beat Outlast.
It's good, and you can stay tuned.
What have you been playing?
I was just saying that they could stay tuned for the end of the
Oh,
end of the
I
podcast
thought
when
you were just
we'll have a
tuning
little discussion about
in
Outlast.
general. Okay.
No. Of course, I want to talk about what I've been playing because I had gaming goals. They were easy and not that hard to do. I wanted to get into some of the DLC that we've been talking about. So, Titanfall 2 had the New Frontier DLC, so I played a few rounds of.
Firefight?
Nope, not Firefight. The one where the oh my god, Marked for Death. Holy, I couldn't think of it.
Oh, the new one.
The new one, yeah. So that's a lot of fun. I wish that it's a Titan mode, which I kind of didn't want it to be. I thought it was going to be more like Live Fire, a little smaller maybe.
'Cause it's really, really easy to die if you're marked and there's a Titan on top of you.
Right, and the other thing is say like the round, there's not even rounds. It's like once either team kills the marked guy, two new people just populate from the team, and then you just keep playing. So people that would get their Titans, they could be marked. So you could be inside of your Titan marked for death. So it's just a little easier for them to stay alive, I guess. It was kind of stressful though when you do get marked for death and you know that there's just this giant blinking kill sign above your head. That wasn't very fun. But
No, it doesn't. Sound that.
the game mode altogether I thought was good though. The new map was also pretty sweet. I only got to play one round on it, but that was fun. And I don't think there was new guns or anything. Not that I'm aware of.
At least that you found.
And then I got into play the Tiny Racers DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5. It only took like 25 minutes to load up.
Oof.
Forgot how long those load times are for Grand Theft Auto.
They
Oh my
were
god.
bad. They are bad.
Tiny Racers, I thought I was going to like it a lot more. I wanted it to feel a lot more arcadey, but literally it feels like they just took the camera, put it up in the sky, and like all of the cars function exactly the same, except for you have like guns and stuff. And when you're doing the adversary mode, where you actually have like guns and bombs and stuff, if you get hit, you're out until the last person is like alive on the track.
Oh, really?
So it's like if you get knocked out early by a bomb or something, or you go off the track, you're just done. And like people could keep racing for a little bit.
That
It's
kinda
also only a 4-person mode. So like all their other races were up to 16, but Tiny Racers is 4 cars, which kind of sucks.
sucks. Yeah, and you wait 25 minutes to play a 4-round.
Well,
4
it's
people round
it's
game?
just 25 minutes to load into the
Oh.
game initially to like
Okay.
get online.
I was like, well, that would just
So
really
if
bad.
Those
you
load
just-
times have always been terrible getting into that game though.
So if you just let everyone go in front of you and then they all die, you win.
Okay, so here's the thing. You have to be there's like a circumference from the lead car, and you need to stay inside of that. So there's like a big circle around the lead car, and if you're not close enough to like the front of the pack, you die after like a certain amount of time. Your car just blows up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
It-
So you don't have to slide behind and let everyone
makes
else
the
die.
game more interesting and more able to advance. Like
It does. It speeds up.
Yeah.
It speeds up the races, I guess, which is good. But then even once you finish a race, I feel like it still takes a little bit to get into like the next race. I don't know. Just wasn't a fan. Thought I was gonna like it a lot. I didn't get to play the. I actually totally forgot about it until right now. The land
Land
grab
snatch
or
or
whatever it's
whatever,
called,
yeah.
land snatch. I don't think it's called
Snatch
land
that land,
snatch.
no.
So I did get to get into those. Like I said, that gaming goal wasn't hard,
Wasn't very good. No.
but I
You still
played
have to
like
get into
9
games.
hours of Prey. So if that had been my gaming goal, would have nailed it.
Yeah.
What else? NBA Playgrounds came out today.
Oh.
So I played last night at like 12:30. Found it, downloaded it. I'm pretty terrible at it.
Yeah, it was pretty painful to watch.
So in order to shoot like the perfect shot, you hold X and then you're supposed to release the ball at like the height, like the top of your jump, I guess I would
The
say.
pinnacle of his height, his jump.
But for some reason, I'm incapable of doing that, I guess. I tried playing with MC, and I think it was like 22-0. It was like the first tournament we went into, playing on the same team. And then when we played each other, it was like 10-10 or something. It was really bad.
So I'm assuming you guys figured out how to shoot the ball, right?
I think we're getting better.
But you're not.
There's sometimes with NBA games there's a little bit of lag between when you hit the X button and when it actually reads.
Maybe
you hit
that's
the
what
X
it is.
button.
I'm playing on this big plasma TV. I need to get to my 1 millisecond delay monitor, and then I'm going to
Yep.
be swishing threes.
Even then, it's not your monitor; it's the
Oh
actual
my
game.
God.
Let's
Stupid
just blame
gaming.
it on the game.
So if
Yeah,
you hit
well,
it,
it's definitely
try-
the game's fault because I'm awesome at.
I would just try
bad at
hitting
that.
it like a millisecond early.
Yeah, then it shoots it, bricks off the stupid backboard. It's like too early,
Or too
and then you hold it.
late.
It's like too late. I was like, just put the damn thing at the perfect
I
time.
think it
I
was
should-
more funny when you guys were trying to do like layups and things.
Yeah,
It's like
when
you're
your
missing in a
professional
layup.
basketball player would go running up and he'd be like 2 inches from the rim and he'd just roll it off his fingers off the backboard and it'd just go flying back to half court.
Yeah, that was more entertaining.
I remember the old NBA games. You used to use the stick. You'd pull like back on the stick to like go up into your jump shot, and you'd flick forward to shoot.
That's how I feel like a lot of games start. Like Madden started doing that for throwing. Like the old baseball games, it used to be like you'd
Golf
flick
does
it.
that. So
Yeah, I was
you,
gonna
so
say
you
Yeah.
actually have your
Golf.
angle, which you hit.
Yep.
And they put that in the Skate 3. Skate 1,
Oh my
2,
god,
and
the
3.
skate games. Those are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't there more skate games? Skate 3 came out and EA just decided we're done. Didn't
We're
people
done.
love those games? Maybe not.
I think it was hit or miss from most people. I
I
think a
guess
lot of
that's
people
true.
didn't like it because they were
They
so
wanted
used to Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk, this is so
Just being-
easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to play so much Tony Hawk on the Game Boy Advanced.
I did not.
That sounds like a horrible way to play
Yeah.
Tony Hawk.
No,
Was
it
the soundtrack
great.
there?
Yeah.
Was there music? It wasn't just
Still
like
played-
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
No, it still played a bunch. You got like,
like
music.
licensed music.
Yeah, you picked up like tracks. That was part of the thing.
Huh.
Yeah, and like you like get so much air. You do like triple backflips and stuff. It was so unreal, but it was so great.
I think that's why I like Skate so much, is because it was so technical, and when you
yeah.
actually did stuff, I think all those games are backwards compatible. Oh, it's making me want to go play Skate.
Oh boy.
I probably won't though.
Nope.
What else did I get into? And then Outlast, which stay tuned to the end of the show again if you want to hear our square table discussion
Yeah.
It is a rectangle.
about Outlast. Yeah. So I mean that's what we've been playing,
What we have been playing.
and if you want to stay tuned after the break, you can come back and listen to our Outlast segment, which will start after this wonderful music. If you decided this was enough, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. But enjoy the music and our talk about Outlast.
Enjoy.
All right, if you're back with us, you're here to hear our thoughts on Outlast, the first-person horror game by Red Barrels. Waterloo, what'd you think about Outlast?
My thoughts on it. Well, it was pretty good. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but I still enjoyed it. It was very. It lost its intensity the more you played it. For
That
sure.
was definitely true. Like the first, I mean, you watched me play like the first half hour of it. I couldn't like function.
Yeah.
I would get scared and somehow hit the start button
and just mess it all
and
up.
just screw everything up. But
it started just to get more
annoying.
and like basically you would just have to wait to figure out the people's patterns.
It turned into
like
it
a
turned
pattern
into
game.
watching the bad guys to see what hallway they went down and then to sneak behind them. And then it's like, it was scary maybe initially when the music would kick in and you'd be like, oh crap, somebody's chasing me.
And you knew it was going to happen.
But then after the third time of failing at it because you're getting killed because
Yeah.
you're stuck in a tight corridor or whatever, it turned into like a
let's
puzzle
wait.
game and not a horror game.
Towards the end, I started just running more than I probably should have.
Yeah, no, me too.
And I would literally just run around until I knew I'd run out of the guy's little pattern.
Once
walk.
you got like far enough away from him, you could
Yep.
either the music would just like cut back and then go back to like normal ambient sound.
Or he would just basically stop because it was out of his programming walk, and he would turn around.
I don't think I ever know. Or okay, yeah, I guess I did see that.
Like there was this
two.
one part
It
where
would be the same thing if you just hid.
Yeah.
And he couldn't find you.
Yeah.
You go back to the.
But I would literally, this one hallway, I'd run down. I'd be like, okay, I can't go that way. So then he would be chasing me, and then I'd get around, turn the corner, stop, and it was past his programming. So he would stop there, do whatever he did, and turn around and walk away.
Are you sure?
No, because I definitely would run, literally, like, I would run around a corner and then stop and peek, and he would stop running.
Well, because I think it's like once you're out of his line of sight, he's just like, he's gone.
Yeah,
Because these people are not the
Very
most
bright.
sane people.
Very true.
But I found that to be kind of like, okay, you always have that backup. Just keep running until you're out of their sight or out of their...
And then it's like maybe initially, like the first time I probably had to run, like you're forced to run because something popped out.
Yeah.
Was super scary.
Yeah.
And then if you get like trapped at the end of a hallway or something, that was horrible.
Yeah,
and
and
like
you knew
that
you
was
couldn't go
that was
anywhere.
scary because you were dead.
Yeah.
But then like you said, by the end of the game, if that same scenario happened and
Right.
I'd just get annoyed. Like
Yeah.
I'd be mad. Like, all right, of course this is a dead end, and now I
Right.
need to go back and replay the last 5 minutes.
Another thing I found out is when you would, like, say if you were getting chased and you would scoot yourself in between like a crack or something.
Yeah, like
If
when
you
there's a
got-
narrow space.
Yeah, if you got past that initial reach,
He would just sit
stop.
there.
Yeah, he would sit there and then turn around and walk away as
Which
well.
like I used that strategy multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Whether or not that's how they intend you to do. Like, it makes sense though, because that one, what are these things called? I had the names written down. Just the
Mutated.
crazy people. Yeah,
The kooks.
the kooks. Call them the kooks. Like that one guy is so big that like there's no way he was fitting in between these cracks.
I know.
So like to me that makes sense, where it's like backing into this tiny little hole. Like he would give up because he'd be like, well, I can't fit there.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not just gonna stand here, so
also,
I'm gonna go
I feel
patrol.
like some of the things, like if it was just between like two bookshelves on the wall, that in all reality he could just push that bookshelf over and grab you.
With how big they're called, variants. That's
Okay.
what they were called. But yeah, the one giant one
Yeah.
could definitely just hurl a bookcase.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions, when like his animation for killing you, he would literally pick you up with one hand by the throat
Yeah.
and like rip out your heart with the other hand or whatever he was doing.
So.
But
I don't know.
it's a video game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was good. I liked it. I liked the fact that you literally only had to survive on your wits, I guess.
It's one of those games where you don't get a weapon. Like you know that you're outpowered, outnumbered.
You're pretty
You
much.
need to hide, use stealth, be sneaky, be witty, like you said. So do I want to talk about the actual plot of the game?
Yeah.
So you play as a freelance journalist named Miles Upshur. You get a tip that some inhumane experiments are taking place at Mount Massive Asylum.
Mm-hmm.
So the first scene of the game, we roll up in our Jeep,
It is a Jeep.
and you see
Jeep Wrangler to be.
It is a Wrangler. It's a nice,
It's a
nice red Wrangler.
Looks really clean too.
If you can't tell, they're Jeep people.
It's true.
Yep.
So you get there right off the bat. If I'm putting myself in this guy's shoes, I roll up to this place, I put it in reverse, and I leave.
Oh,
There's not
for
even a
sure.
security guard out front.
Yeah,
Right.
It's just unkept.
for sure. Especially when the main doors are all locked and you have to walk around and.
Yeah. So you have to like
Crawl
climb
or
up on
something.
some scaffolding.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I'd
Yeah,
be
you had
doing
to
that.
crawl under a gate, go up some scaffolding. You see SWAT vehicles all
Yeah.
out front of the asylum.
Yeah,
And it's like you don't hear anything,
yeah.
and your guy's just like, "All right, let's
Sounds-
go find out."
Okay,
Sounds
if you're
good to
feeling
me.
if you're feeling ballsy enough, okay, you get in there, you get further past there. But there's a part where a dead body's hanging.
He's on a spike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when you first
This-
enter, and if you're tuning into this, spoilers, I'm assuming you
It's
know
spoilers.
exactly
It's-
what
That's
we're
why we
too
take
early
the break in
to-
the first
I mean-
place, is to let
Right,
you know that
just-
we're going to spoil Outlast for you if you listen more.
So you get up through the scaffolding, crawl through the window, and then you drop down, so that there's no way for you to leave. If you want to try to leave, I don't think you
No,
can.
you can leave. You can leave up till when you get thrown off the top, off that area.
Oh,
the
when
big
the
guy.
when the big guy throws you down. in
Yeah,
the
you
lobby.
can leave up to that area, up to that point. And at that point, you've already seen a guy with a spike shoved through his body.
So yeah,
And
your
heads on
head's everywhere.
everywhere.
So yeah, you're navigating through a bunch of bookshelves, and
Yeah.
you see a SWAT guy who like this is one of your first jump scares. Is you just see a man with a spike driven through the center of his body, and he's just hanging there. And then as soon as you get close to him, he's like, "Oh, help me!"
Yeah.
And
at
he
that
literally says like, "Hey, there's a bunch of crazy people like killing each other in here. You need to just leave." And this is a trained SWAT officer telling you probably shouldn't be here and you should leave.
Yeah.
But nah,
Yeah, you keep going.
we're
There's-
gonna go forward.
There's many times that there was just things that he would do that I was like, nope, you can leave now, but yet you decide to do this.
Right. But if this would be a huge story, and if he's a freelance journalist, man, he's gonna get the story of the year.
I would pass.
I would pass too.
There's
That's-
many other stories. I would write about that squirrel on the
On the water ski.
I would much rather take that story any day.
All right, so we meet the SWAT officer man who's dying. He dies, blah, blah, blah. Then you run into your first variant, which is the giant dude who picks you up and hurls you down into the lobby.
Yep. Where you kind
In
of
real life, killing you probably, but
It would definitely. There's a few times here where
you probably should.
I'm pretty sure you're not making it out alive. So who did it?
You run into
that's
the
when you run into
priest.
Father Martin.
Yeah, Father
for the
Martin.
first time.
Yeah.
Who's creepy but seems
Sane-ish.
sane-ish
and like helpful.
kind of,
Yeah.
and seems helpful.
Yeah.
Which the first guy didn't even want to say hi, and he just chucked you.
Yeah.
He just threw you down into the lobby.
This guy calls you his child.
He
and
calls
gives
you his apostle.
Oh, apostle.
Right.
Sorry, and gives you
Yep.
your camera back.
What a nice guy.
Right.
But then you're trying to leave, and then he's the one that cuts the power off
Yeah.
so that you can't
Leave.
leave.
Because he wants you to see things.
Right.
He
Because
wants you to show the story, pretty much.
yeah. So the first like gameplay thing you have to do is turn the power back on.
Yep.
That's when you go down into a basement, and that's with the generators, right?
Yep.
So
2 generators.
there's a lot of
the
puzzles
part where I got frustrated enough where I just kind of ran.
where you're sprinting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So there's 2. Yeah. What's up?
Well, the whole other thing is, you're not. It's dark, so you have to realize that you're staring through your camera, which has night vision the whole time.
Pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're, all the lights are on and you can see everything. No, you see this little cone of light coming from
So
what is your night
You
vision.
don't have
on
any
your camera.
peripherals
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. All you hear is sounds, and when you hear something that sounds really creepy, you have no choice but to go towards it.
Right. So, every one of these like puzzles where you had to turn like
Turn
hit
the
2
light on.
switches,
Yeah, turn the
go
switch
fetch
on.
these 2 things, then go back to a central area.
Mm-hmm.
So this first one you had to turn on 2 like water pump or not water pumps,
Gas.
gas pumps. Okay.
Something to get
To turn on the generator,
Yeah.
so you could turn the power back on. After you do that, you go up to the security office and you're watching. Or I think maybe you try to hit the button to open the door, and then Father Martin comes up again, and this is where he shows you that video of the SWAT officers just being like thrown around with like a ghost is doing
He
it.
comes up behind you and he stabs you with like a
Yeah,
syringe or
so
something.
Knocks you out.
he knocks you out because he says you need to bear witness to the Wall Rider. The Wall Rider is this invisible thing that you see messing up these SWAT members. And this is where you come to figure out that the deity or the god that Father Martin like looks up to is this Wall Rider,
Yeah.
which is this thing just going around murdering everything. So
Who knows what that is?
he seems helpful until he sticks a needle in your neck and sedates you. And then you wake up in cell block B, cell block C. Isn't that what happens?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
So you wake up and you need to find your way out of the cell block. Did you run in to the bros at the top of the stairs with their dongs out?
Yeah, they come and play later, too.
They do.
Yeah.
But that was my first-
about killing you,
And then they're
Yeah.
like, no, but this is the man
The
that
father
the
doesn't
father
want
wants.
Yeah.
Whatever. So there was wieners. So there's that.
There were definitely 2 dongs hanging around.
Yeah, I thought I just had to play The Witcher to get some. But
Some dong action.
So when you finally escape here, you hear a voice telling you to come up the chute or whatever.
Come up the little...
a
a food cart thing. I forgot. A dolly. A food dolly.
like a little
No.
elevator thing, right?
Yeah.
Like a service.
service elevator. That's
But
what
it's
called.
not a service
It's a
elevator.
small
'cause
one,
service elevators are big.
Or-
It's like what they would have in an old house where the kitchens usually are on the basement, and then they put the food onto it, and they ring a bell, and then they pull it up, and then it goes up to the second floor. And
So,
it
like-
literally has like enough room to fit like
And
2 plates.
at this point in the story, you're being chased by naked dong men. So you're just trying to get out of there. So if
Yeah.
you hear a voice, it's like, "Dog, quick, come up this chute. I'll help you." And like Traeger, he's the guy we're gonna run into, the doctor. It probably sounds the sanest out of anyone in this game. Like he sounds like a normal dude who's actually trying to help you. And at first I was like, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have a friend. And then you get up there, and he's just another variant who's
just-
a little more. He's just as insane, but he can actually like talk and stuff.
Yeah.
So this guy's a real big jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Ties you up, and then what happens?
Yeah, lose some digits. He cuts 2 of your digits off.
Yep. So he takes his big old bone cutter scissors,
That are chilling in a stall, a urinal actually, to be precise.
nice and sterile.
Yeah, for the first
If
5
there's
minutes.
urine all over him, that's good.
And then just chops them off like they were little pigs in a blanket.
All right. So now we've lost our fingers. We escape from this. We break out of our like handcuffs. We're handcuffed
Really
to a chair.
easily.
Right? Like, why didn't you do that earlier? He just like moves his wrists a little bit and they come out.
just pops right out.
Why-
Maybe it was all the blood that was there as like a lubrication or something.
Oh,
Maybe.
Gross, but that could totally be it.
Mm.
So we escaped, and now our task, and now we're running into our second task of the game, which is to turn the elevator back on.
Yep. And
So
don't
you-
you have to find like a key to get into to
I
turn the
think
elevator?
you also need a key.
Yeah. I
Or is
think
that
the
all?
elevator's
Is that
already-
all you have to do?
I think you have to find the key at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember I ran and I just remember running a lot in this game.
Well, that's the thing. These puzzles turned into just running
Yeah.
until you found your own personal pattern where you knew you could run,
Yep.
and grab each thing, and come back.
Yeah.
So eventually, you get the key to the elevator,
Uh-huh.
and you start to go down. Traeger is on the floor below you,
Uh-huh.
like rips open the gate to the elevator and starts to come in, and you actually fight him off,
First time being a man.
which is your first time actually trying to fight these things, and he
Mhm.
does it without a problem.
Yeah.
And then the elevator continues to go down and crushes Traeger because
Cuts him in two.
he's halfway. It didn't even cut him in two.
Yeah, it just
The elevator
squished
just
him.
stopped.
Yeah.
That man's body stopped an elevator. I mean, I guess it was probably a pretty old elevator,
Yeah, it looked like one.
but
And then you get up and
Still.
jump out the top, get out through the roof.
yep. And now we're running into Martin again.
No, it's not Martin. It's some I thought it was Martin, but it was just some dude carrying a bat.
Who? Oh, I guess I was skipping ahead to where I think because our next big story beat is Martin telling you need to get to the chapel.
Oh, the father. Sorry, I was
Yeah,
thinking-
Father Martin.
Yeah.
So you need to go to the chapel.
Mhm.
Whatever. This guy still seems he's knocked us out. He's turned off the power on us, and yet we're still gonna follow him for some
I
reason.
don't know why. Well, I
No
guess
one knows why.
The last person that sounded nice wound up cutting your fingers off. So at least this guy's only knocking you out.
And then all the other people you see just run at you,
Dong hanging out,
just-
and running at you.
dong runners.
Yeah. Double donging it.
So you get up into the chapel, and Martin's crucified.
Yep. Oh, I think we left out a little bit, but yeah,
Well,
for the
I
most
don't know
part.
if there's any big main things.
Getting the fuses. We left out about talking about
The
getting
fuses. I think. Okay, was the fuses for the elevator?
No, the fuses was after it. The fuses were to get into to get another key.
For the elevator.
No, it wasn't for the elevator though.
Oh, it was to unlock the third story.
The third floor, so you
Which
could get
is
out
where
to
the chapel
is.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess there was just no big altercations with people you'd already met, or
No, not
like
really.
main characters.
No, I mean
As it
there's only
were.
like 2 main characters, and that's the guy
Right.
that cuts your fingers off.
So yeah, you
Right.
find the fuses to ride the elevator up
yeah.
to get to the
The
chapel.
third- yeah.
So now we're at the chapel.
Uh-huh.
The first thing you see when you start to walk into the chapel is the Dong Bros.
Yep. But
Just-
they're chill.
But they're chill because Father Martin's like, hey, don't kill that journalist. He has a camera and he needs to show the world what's going on here or whatever.
Is this before or after? This is after your camera breaks. We missed about somehow you lose your camera. You're getting out of this one area.
I think that whole section, like with the fuses, with that,
the camera.
you it's like a jumping
puzzle,
section,
yeah.
and then you drop your camera because some boards start to break.
But yet
so
you
you're-
have to go back for it because you can't manage yourself in the dark.
Why? I understand that.
Oh shit, man! I would not go back for that.
You just gotta crawl around in the dark and hope.
I'll
that
say
you
then
don't
you're
run
stuck.
into
Like,
anything.
I'm
It's
assuming
pitch
you can
black.
get fire somewhere.
oh, all right. Well, you had
Oh.
the magic fire, so lucky
Fuego.
you.
He just gets
I
it from
had to-
rubbing his rash.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that 3rd-degree rash.
Turns into a
Um,
burn, then I can see things.
So yeah, you did lose your camera for a little bit.
Yeah, and you have to go
Back to the
for it.
chapel again. Dong Bros hanging out. They're like the bodyguards to the chapel, and they just kind of stare at you. You can tell they want to kill you, but Father Martin says no. Don't kill the cameraman. You walk in.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Father Martin's on a crucifix.
Yep. Basically clamoring that
He's just spouting a bunch of wall rider junk.
they will see the true gods or something like that. I
Yep.
can't
And
remember.
then he asks one of his followers. So there's just a bunch of people like kneeling around him in a circle, and just asks one of the guys to light it on fire. So they light up this crucifix, and you just sit there recording. At least I was.
I recorded until he kind of cried out in pain, and I slowly backed off and
Oh,
got out of there.
I couldn't stop watching.
Oh, I mean,
Is that messed up?
not really. He
I
tells you
figured
to.
if
Were
I'm
you
taking the
afraid that
role of
if
this
you-
journalist, no, I need to get the whole crispy end.
I thought
the
you were
story.
afraid that if you like took your camera off him, you might
It's a
get
hot
attacked.
story, Lou.
But this is nice
Ah.
because this guy, he pretty much says like, I've told my people not to like attack you anymore
And
or
then you can
whatever,
leave.
and that you can leave. And there's a key, another key
Just
for an elevator
Yep.
that is going to take you down to the bottom floor where the doors open and you can just leave.
But
Sweet.
even when you go to leave, that big guy still chases you.
Which we'll get into that.
Oh.
So you have your key now, and you get in the elevator. Everything's going fine. We're going down to the first floor to leave until we go past the first floor.
Well past the first.
Well past the first floor.
Yep.
We go down many stories into the basement, which is a giant laboratory.
It almost looks like it's like an ice laboratory.
Yeah, there's a ton of ice down there.
Yeah.
So you do run into that variant again, the big dude.
Uh-huh.
And he gets killed by the wall rider.
Oh yeah.
He gets
Slaughtered.
destroyed. This scene, this giant variant that we've been talking about gets just picked up and manhandled, like smashed against walls, and then gets thrown into like a ventilation grate and just explodes into
Blood everywhere.
blood
I
everywhere.
think that's all he explodes into is blood.
Yeah, there was a few. It was just like giant squirts of blood that looked real
Yeah.
bad. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is a smaller development team.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a smaller studio making this.
But there's a lot of blood.
So eventually you run into Dr. Wernick.
Was that his name?
I think that was his name.
Yeah.
Um,
The
Excuse
guy
me.
that's just chilling behind the glass. In
he's the
wheelchair.
guy chilling behind the glass. So this was one of the like founders of all the experiments here. He's the one that started all these experiments that screwed up all these people.
Mhm.
The experiments that he was doing, they're trying to work with nanobots.
Yeah.
Are those little tiny robots?
Yep.
Right. He was doing these experiments because he believed that if a person had been traumatized enough and experienced enough physical pain, that they'd be able to like join together with these swarms of nanites. So he tells you that there's this kid Billy, or I guess he's not a kid, but he's the one he's the physical embodiment of the wall rider.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to go stop this. Like, what I did was a mistake here.
Uh-huh.
Like, this whole thing's a mistake. You need to kill Billy.
Gives you the dubious task of turning off
So you have to, like, turn off his life support.
to life support and something else. And this is definitely completely. There's no hiding. There's only running at this point of the game.
Right. So you finally do your tasks or whatever. You kill
An embodiment of Billy.
the embodiment of Billy. But then the wall rider, the nano swarm, I guess at this point, comes out and attacks you. So what you don't realize it, or at least I didn't realize it, is that the nano swarm you're the new host now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you realize that until the very end of it, because you're fighting it and you look over and you see the bubble where Billy's in getting filled with blood and everything, and then all of a sudden, you kind of get dropped down from fighting the wall rider, and then you're like, oh, Billy must finally actually be dead, drowned in
Because he
blood.
drops you,
Yeah.
and you're just like, wow, I can barely move. I just got dropped.
Yeah.
So you're just stumbling along this corridor trying to finally get out of this place. You killed Billy. Everything
Finally.
should be good.
Yeah.
So you're walking down a corridor, and the doorways open, and it's Wernick
Yep. And
with
SWAT
his
people.
like. I don't think these were SWAT. I think this was like his own personal army or whatever. I don't think SWAT was actually trying to stop this. This was his like personal bodyguards or whatever. So the guy all the way to the right of you, in front of you, just shoots you, and you see blood come out of you,
And you're like, oh man.
and you're like, what? And like for a second, I was like, okay, maybe that was just like a warning shot,
oops, we didn't mean to shoot you, type deal.
right? Like, kill it. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But then he unloads on you.
Oh yeah.
So many bullets
Good
right
round.
into your
Good
chest,
old
just
mag.
blood squirting everywhere. Camera cuts to black. And then you actually hear Wernick screaming because he realizes that you had turned into the new host for the Swarm.
Yep.
So the Swarm, you don't get to see it at all,
Not
but
too
the
bad.
Swarm kills. I'm
Massacres
assuming
everybody.
it just kills everyone.
Yeah.
And that's how the game ends.
It's kind of.
It cuts to black, and the Swarm kills everyone.
So you think this one killed
I don't know. What if he's now the new host?
If who's
Is
the
it-
new host?
Wernick. Because what happens the last time you killed the host? You became the host. So his guy killed the host. Wouldn't it look for a new host?
It said, I think he's the one. Your initial like discussion with Wernick says that Billy thought of you as like a father figure,
Yeah.
and then you pretty much go kill your son figure. So after he ordered you to kill Billy, I think the Wall Rider probably just killed everyone.
Yeah.
And now there's just it's just a nanobot or a nano whatever stupid robot swarm that just
flying around.
flying around. But that's how the game ended.
Yeah. Wasn't the greatest ending at all.
Kind of. It wasn't what I was expecting because I guess this whole time I didn't realize that like this ghost thing that would pop up every once in a while was really
Actually
just
real. Yeah.
it was just a swarm of nanobots.
Which is kind of silly for what the game started out to be.
Yeah, because it was like straight psycho psycho horror.
Didn't think there was any sci-fi involved into this, and then all of a sudden it throws you with
Turns out
nanobots.
we were wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you were facing like half dead people called variants.
Yeah, so I think the variants are just the people that they tried
treatment
to
on.
they tried to do the treatment. They tried to like traumatize them enough and cause them enough pain that the nanobots would or nanomites would like
Bond
infuse with them or whatever.
Yeah.
But it kept being failed experiments, and they were doing this at the asylum because they just had a bunch of crazy people that they could try to do this with. But it is kind of cool how like through the whole story, it's like you were being part of like the experiment. Like they were trying to traumatize you enough.
Oh yeah.
You were getting beat up enough and like having your
Fingers cut
fingers chopped
off.
off and stuff. And
Being
then
scared.
that's why
Yeah.
you melded so easily with the nanobots. I can't pick a good word for these things.
Because you had the trauma done.
Yeah, so it was good. It wasn't. How long did it take us? It actually ended up being
4 hours maybe.
yeah, and I
total.
had this problem where I couldn't play a lot of it at a
At
time.
the time, yeah, it was the same with me. I played it
Initially-
for a little bit and then
Yeah,
stopped.
and initially it was just because like it was too intense. Like for me, like I'd just get like sweaty hands and like being scared isn't my favorite thing. So I'd have to take breaks there. But eventually it was me taking breaks because I was getting annoyed at certain parts. If I had failed
3 or 4
running
times,
by
yeah.
the same guy 3 or 4 times, it was like, what am I doing? Why
Why am I
I
doing
need to
this
take a
again?
break.
Yeah.
But
Definitely enjoyed play. It wasn't enjoy, but it was a good play.
so if
Something
you
I
can
would-
if you can get it on a discount, maybe go for it.
Yeah,
I don't
if
know
the-
what the game goes for.
I think it's
normally.
like $19 or something. I mean, if
Okay,
you're
that's not terrible then.
$20, yeah.
if you're into horror games and you want something for a good scare, yeah, definitely recommend it.
That's true.
But if you're thinking it's something more like a Resident Evil or like a action horror game, just
So okay,
Save
how
it.
does this stack up against with Resident Evil 7 for you? Because
for me,
same type first person horror. Let's hear
it,
it.
it had more scares in it, frights per minute.
More like okay. Jump scares are great.
But I don't think I like the story as much.
Yeah.
And I don't like the feeling of the only thing I could do is hide.
Well,
I didn't
in
like-
Resident Evil, you could get guns.
Yeah, you would get guns, and I mean, there were
You
parts
could
of
never
the game
kill.
where you would have to hide, but
Right.
you had
Weren't your
that
weapons just
security.
used to like slow people down? Essentially, you couldn't like kill any of the main.
I mean, yeah, you could
people
kill
from the
the
family.
molded, but in the 3 main bosses, basically, it would literally just kind of slow them down, knock them out, or something. But it gave you that sense of security, you know. And I guess
The feeling that you could defend yourself
Yeah.
instead of in this one where you know you can't, so your best option is to hide.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like this game could have even given you the option to pick like a bat up off the ground or like
anything where you could maybe hit a guy once just to like knock him
Yeah.
out of the way or
so
something.
you would have a second to like run, or you could have used your hands to push. Like I feel like if they added something like that into the game,
it wouldn't have been as frustrating.
Yes.
Because this was turned into just trials of
trials and
run here.
Well, I did find out later in the game, I felt like I could take more hits than just like in the beginning. I would get hit once and I would be dead. But towards the end, I felt like I could take like 1 or 2 hits
yeah.
and keep running or stuff like that.
I just know there was a few times it felt silly when like there's one part in the game where you had like 3 people running after you.
Yeah.
And you would just go into a big room and I'd be like playing Ring Around the Rosie, just like running around in circles
Until you
until
could get-
I like saw the door and would just time to run. They're far enough
for
behind
sure.
me.
Which was, like I said, annoying. Just like, okay, it's now no longer a real like stealth puzzle other than it is a how quickly can I get to A to B puzzle. you
Yeah.
know?
So take that for what it is. Definitely, it's the good thing is it's not a $60 game.
Yeah.
So getting 4 or 5 hours out of this for $20, getting some scares. I was legitimately scared on multiple accounts.
So I was only able to watch. I watched a little bit of a playthrough, so I had an idea. Just so I wasn't totally silent this whole time, even though I was pretty silent for the last half. But honestly, I'm kind of mad I didn't get to play it. Something happened where Waterloo had it, but for some reason it didn't download to my Xbox. I didn't really feel like buying it.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't now, because even watching like through the playthroughs, even through some of the jump scares and stuff, it didn't look bad to me.
No.
It looked like something I would enjoy doing. Obviously, when I was watching, the guy already knew what he was doing, so he knew like every corridor to run down and stuff, which I definitely wouldn't have had and would have had to figure out.
Going back now,
But
we could have killed this game in
Oh,
half
yeah.
the time, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like.
I think this playthrough was just under 3 hours.
Okay, yeah. I
So-
mean, that sounds right.
But I'm also, like I said last week, I'm kind of thinking I might like puzzle games, and it sounds like there
You
were
said
some
something about
parts
Mm-hmm.
where
Well,
or there was just like, so you said something about recognizing which way they were running through,
like
hallways and
walking
stuff.
patterns, yeah.
I love
It's a more of
stuff like
right. It gets a
So-
little cerebral.
Mm.
You have to use your brain a little bit as to where you're going.
Yeah.
that. So actually, I honestly, even if you're not a big like scary game fan,
Well, I mean, that's me. I generally like Resident Evil 7 came out, and to me, I wasn't that excited for it. The old Resident Evils I loved. They're all third person and stuff too, and it's like the scares weren't the jump scare type of scares, but it sounds like maybe there wasn't a ton of those in Resident Evil 7.
There were a few jump scares in Resident Evil 7. Like
Okay.
the original Resident Evil, there wasn't a bunch of jump scares, but it was
Except
like
for those dogs jumping through the window.
the dogs jumping through the window.
Ugh.
There were definitely parts of the games that was very scary, but more was a suspense game, like keep them on the edge, and then it had a lot of good puzzles into it.
Yeah,
The original.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
1 and 2 and part of 3.
And I mean, there's a lot of things in Outlast that we didn't touch on. We just hit the major plot
Oh, yeah.
points. But there was always like small weird things going on, like weird things you'd see the variants doing. Like, I think it was one of the things where you had to go turn on something. So you run by and you're going through like the baths. Do you remember running by a bunch of bathtubs?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you see the one dude washing the other variant?
He said, "You have a dirty ducky."
Yeah, and he's like, and then he's like, "Did you bring your ducky?" And it's just like, some of the shit in here was so messed up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part where when you were in the hallway, the guy was in a wheelchair, and he told you that the doctor was out, and you had to pull them out. And he never said anything about what. He just jumped on you and said, you need to pull them out. The doctor's not here. You need to pull them out.
Yeah, and like, so there was a bunch of, just listening to a lot of these just insane people.
Yeah.
The guy just kept beating his head in the...
Oh my God, in the jail cell, this guy just would walk back and forth between pillars, just smashing his head on the wall.
And like the most gross sound you can think of about
like that
smashing your head
squishy head crunchy noise.
every single time, and it was loud.
Oh, yeah.
Like he didn't hold back. That guy just smacked it.
So the whole like feeling of it was good. I think it was just the story, like the ending. It wasn't a good payoff for what you were doing. We would get frustrated with when we couldn't do things fast enough, so we ended up running. That kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a good horror game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I'm still not sure how they incorporated a 2 into it.
It's same world, completely different people.
Okay.
This took place in Colorado, and the new game is in Arizona. So
Okay.
it's just same world. So maybe they'll reference like, oh, remember that stuff at the asylum or whatever. Maybe you read a document that references the asylum at some point.
Now,
But yeah,
did you read as many documents in this game as you did in?
Yeah, a good amount of them, because a lot of those characters, like Traeger, like all these people had files on them and told them what they were in there for. And I wanted to talk about this earlier. The big variant, his name was Chris Walker before he got all crazy. He was ex-military, and the reason that he was still trying to kill you after Father Martin had told all of his people, like, hey, like, don't mess with this guy anymore, and he was still trying to kill you, is because his, like, embedded deep in him somewhere was the need to kill everyone in the asylum so that the Swarm and the Wall Rider wouldn't have a host.
Okay.
And like this came up in some of the readings. So like that's explains why he was there at the end and trying to kill you when no one else is. So there was just some backstory, stuff like that. A lot of the notes that you would write down, like if you recorded something, that was just kind of him swearing a bunch on paper about whatever he was seeing.
Yeah,
So, like,
reiterating what you just saw.
Right. So that wasn't. I read them, but I wasn't getting anything out of that. It was more like the case files of like the crazy doctor, the ex-military guy. I don't think I ever got one on Father Martin. That'd probably be pretty interesting. But yeah, I still read the same amount. Generally, if it's there and I pick it up, I'll read it.
Okay.
But yeah. So that was our game of the week for last week, Outlast. This upcoming week, we're gonna go with current events, and we're gonna do Prey this week, which is good that some of us have put a lot of time into it already. I'm not sure how long of a game it is. I'm seeing reports at like 20-ish.
Okay.
So just if everybody just gets in there and
Plays a good amount.
Plays a good
enough
amount
to talk about.
we'll talk all about Talos 1.
Back to Outlast real quick.
Yep, go for it.
How long did you? How much record time did you, and wind up with, if you remember?
There was definitely one point I looked, and I remember seeing 2 hours and 20 minutes at one point.
Okay.
It definitely could have been a lot longer than that by the end, though.
I think I only had around an hour and a half of.
Oh, by the end of it?
Yeah.
I had my camera up the whole game, it felt like.
Okay.
One more quick thing. The batteries, you need to when you're using the infrared on your camera, the batteries drain quick. So you had to keep picking up batteries. Did you ever have a problem with that?
I ended it with maybe 6 batteries. I had never had a
so
problem
like
with it.
even I used my camera double the amount of time, didn't have a problem at all with the batteries. They were everywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
So I definitely did a lot of record time because even when I was like running down hallways, I always had the infrared on.
I was hoping that would come into the game.
Yeah, like maybe.
Recording.
So now you guys talking about like the ending and stuff.
Oh, okay.
We got back into it, unfortunately.
No,
but,
you're good.
I don't know. Put in, like, somebody found your camera, and then took the clips you made, and I don't know if you can actually implement. I think it would be hard to implement what each person videotaped and put in the end.
They could do it. I've seen that in other games. So
Yeah, but just have like, I don't know how you even show it.
A montage.
Or like
something during the credits, maybe like roll the credits on the left side and then do like you're saying, have like a fake newscast happening and like
yeah, or like
crazy things are happening at the
You
asylum.
just like pop into like somebody's living room, and then all of a sudden like they're watching like news channel 5, and on this
they're talking about the asylum using clips from.
Yeah,
these are real live clips from.
The only thing is though, where'd your camera go at the end? I mean, it died with you down in that basement, and who knows if people are ever they're gonna nuke this place. Let's be honest.
That's probably true.
They sent in 2 truckloads of SWAT team members who couldn't stop this. So
yeah,
I'm dropping a bomb or some napalm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So next week is Prey, and with that, let's go around the table. Waterloo, where can we find you?
You can find me anywhere, but if you want to talk to me, you can find me at Waterloo on Xbox, Waterloo on Beam. Yep, that's about it.
All right, Chopa.
No Twitter this week. I am OMGH Chopa on Beam, Xbox, Twitter, and YouTube.
I'm Risky the Kid on Beam and Xbox. If you want to reach out to us, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email us at xboxcommunitycast@gmail.com. Also, you can hop over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/xboxcommunitycast. Feel free to post there, ask questions. Any question you guys send us, we'll make sure to answer them for you.
And throughout the week, we do post news articles as well.
Yep.
Stuff we'll cover here, stuff we don't cover, and we share that stuff with you guys as well. So it's
absolutely.
a great place
So
to get news.
stay tuned to that. And with that, thank you everybody for tuning in to episode 7 of the Xbox Community Cast. And until next time, we'll catch you later.
See you later.
Goodbye.